a pretty epic game as well. So there's actually some different names in here. So we are going to jump into the game and see how that's going. I do have to update the scores, so please ignore that as I change that up as soon as possible, which will be like right now. So, Nick, we've got TCG versus 55 HP Monks.
Yeah, we have. And it's still the somewhat different TCG, although if we look over to the side of 55, at least one name doesn't seem familiar at all.
Okay.
Skull Kit, I think it's supposed to be. Maybe.
Skull Kit.
There's some weird font actually going on over there. But yeah, on the other side, oh, and there's actually Red Levin. Red Levin with the name of Rebecca Rock is playing his Shelf Warrior there. Okay. So a bit of a mix-up there as well. Eternia, of course, for all of you who haven't noticed yet, TCG has now merged with HOT, or Sizzling Hot Pressure, as you might notice by Eternia being on TCG. And it should also normally be the combination of Draze and Kazea on there. If I remember correctly, yes, it should. But one of them seems to be missing today, and Red Levin is taking that spot.
Okie dokie. Should be interesting. Did you say that Skull Kid was playing Hambo Warrior?
No, I didn't.
Okay, he's playing Hambo Warrior.
Yeah.
Wow. That one's coming back in. Okay, instead of going for the Shout Warrior, which is what they had, EC was playing that recently. They've gone back to DPS Guardian there. Okay, rather than doing that, let's just go through the builds. I'm going to go through TCG first. So starting off with Lord Helseth, he's picking up that Rune of Vampirism. He's going to be playing Mesmer, of course, going for a Shatter build. We're going to have a look at the build there. He's going for Master of Reflection there as a bit of a different choice. Well, you can choose between that and one of the other traits. I can't remember what the other trait is now. But otherwise, it's a fairly standard build, other than the fact that he is going for Rune of Vampirism. On this map, normally he picks up the Staff, and that's what we're seeing from a couple of other Mesmers now. So we'll probably rotate over towards the Sword and Torch in the Battle of Faux-Fire. So we will go over
Legacy of the
Faux-Fire, Battle of the Faux-Fire. Well, to be honest, you know, could be both maps. So that's what I was going for.
Battle of the Faux-Fire and the Flail. Mix them all up. I have to say I'm surprised that it took this long to finally see a Mesmer pick up the Vampirism rune. Because with the being able to use the F abilities in that,
yes,
a Mesmer is kind of the one that gets the most use out of his F1 abilities.
With the distortion as well, like you can time it very well when you come out of that. So
distortion, maybe get a stun in there, or just the or just a bit of damage from the mind drag. If you're just really close to death, both of you in a 1v1, then quickly Vampirism rune and then get a shatter in there.
And that Sigil of Generosity over on the Staff. I can't remember if that was what he ran before, but the Staff is
he has been running that for quite some time, I think.
Okay. I've never really picked up on that, but that's good to... Obviously, Condi removal was a bit of an issue for Mesmers, so that's always a nice addition. Going over to XP, he's going to be playing the same Rune of Vampirism there with Celestial Engineer. Similar, pretty much the standard traits that you see in this build with the speedy kits, of course, and the standard utilities as well, going for that Slick Shoes with the Grenade and Toolkit combo. Then going over to Rebecca Rock, who's going to be playing Shoutbow Warrior. Anything different in there? Not massively. He's going to go with Fear Me, of course, with the Battle Standard. And then Eternia, he's going to be playing Dagger Elementalist. He's going to be going with the whole Brack Rune, so, you know, the minus 20% condition duration and might stacking of that. Standard utilities and traits, as well as the Conjure Fire Greatsword. And then we're going to go over to Karzes. He's going to be playing Panic Strike DP Thief, and he's going to be playing with Rune of Vampirism as well. Waiting for the day that Rune of Vampirism will change and everyone changes back to something else. But for now, that's in the meta, and Nick's going to go over the blue team for us.
If it's available, why not abuse it? So then we have. I would too. So on the other side, it's 55 HP Monks, starting us off with Zenestial. He's playing a Rifle Celestial Engineer, and of course the now also familiar Rune of Vampirism, also chosen with that one. He's gone for Elixir S. I remember in the. I mean, okay. our Skype chat from the Shoutcasters is normally under NDA, but I think I can mention that we had a bit of a discussion about that. Is it even possible to run an engineer without slick shoes? Well, yes, it is, and Zan seems to agree on that point.
Yep, I think so.
Slick shoes, of course, pretty strong, but still, Elixir S, also a nice thing to have.
He's going for full avoidance, really, with that as well. And also because they need people... We've got less stability in this game, in the sPVP now, like hardly any at all. So, you know, stability is not really used that much. So trying to get downs is a little bit more difficult, and you cleave bodies down a little bit more. So that trying to get the secured down with that is actually really good. And also, you know, we've got more DPS coming in, so it's actually good to escape as well. So it's quite nice.
And then, Skull Kid, you mentioned it, a Hambo Warrior. Has been quite a while since we've seen that. He's going for the Soldier Amulet for that. Of course, maybe a little bit of a refresher course. Lots of CC coming in from that. We, of course, still have the Burning Field and Might possibilities. Then going for the Holbrook Rune with that. And the Trade Spread, as it was usually with the Hambo, but the 2 in Strength, that is something... Well, the 2 are kind of the variable factor in that one. It's been in Arms. I think Arms has been less, mostly Tactics or Strength. So these are the 2 choices there.
He's going for more HP, pretty much. That's just really what it is, tanky.
Rampage? Are we going to see that?
I mean, it's got the one thing from this is, of course, with the new stability changes, you know, that you get that stability back. And with Rampage, it's actually really nice for CC itself, and also good for staying on point if they do need to think about that. So 55 HP monks in the way they play, really, in my opinion, is more about the actual caps and staying on node and actually trying to hold them, whereas a lot of teams now, and the way the game is going, is more about trying to kill people off node and kill people in between. So 55 kind of got a mix of that, but still trying to keep the points, really. So he can really hold a point for a while in Rampage, while the rest of the guys, again, if they're starting to lose that node, they do what they do, you know, they start to go to the other point, the third point on the map, if they have got the one cap as well. And yeah, so that might fit in quite well, actually.
And not only Rampage, I mean also in your pain.
And there is that as well. And the other stance, sorry, we've got more stability coming out from him with balanced stance. So, you know, it's going to be nice.
With these stability changes, we've been kind of reviewing what has stability to offer. And in the current matters, what it was actually pretty few stability going around. In most cases. But yeah, a Hambo Warrior, which we haven't seen for quite a while, now brings loads of it to the party. Balance Stance and Rampage, that is quite a lot of that.
Should bring all the stability to the yard.
Yes. Nice.
Okay.
Very nice. So, next one, Chosen Sin. He's playing Dagger Pistol. Not going for the Vampirism. He's running a Rune of the Pack and a Panic Strike build with that. Utilities we're going to see in a moment because he's just respawning. There we go, going for the Blinding Powder and not the Infiltrator Signet. And then we also have Karsaib Issei, currently DC'd. So we're waiting for him to get back. Karsaib again on his Melandra Rune Clerics. Wait, did he run Clerics last time? I think he ran Melandrus.
He's been running DD, LA.
Damn. I don't know, can you hear the dogs?
Yeah, for once that's your side.
Okay. Yeah, not my dogs.
Not mine.
Dogs. It's an open window. He last time he was running Melandru in combination with Celestial, I think.
He used to run Clerics with
yeah,
and then he ran it with
in the double Clerics combination. Or was it? No, wait. Eternia switched over to Star for a game as well.
Yeah, I mean, and
that was with Celestial.
When they didn't have, when they had Issei on Warrior playing Sharpbow, they had Karsaib was playing Dagger Elementalist as well, and sometimes switched back to Staff. But yeah, it seems they've gone back for this. So they've actually gone back for 3 more kind of bunkery classes. No, sorry, 2 bunkery classes. The Sustained Engineer, and then they've got the DPS team. No, because Misha isn't here. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, that's why he's playing DPS Guardian then. Okay.
Did you catch what Issei was playing?
I think it was just DPS Guard.
Just DPS Guard. Okay, so going for the Thief DPS Guard combination. I think we can assume it's going to be a Hammer Meditation Guard.
Yes, I think so as well. with probably the pack rune. So we're looking forward to seeing this game start because we are waiting for it to come back, and it's going to be the first semi-final of the ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 24. 24. Wow.
Before it's been quite a few.
Yeah, we've been doing good. That's a lot of cash. You can do the maths of that. 400 euros for 24 weeks. It's actually pretty nuts. But yeah, guys, if you're interested
and
in
you
joining...
always have the monthlies.
Indeed, as well, on top of that. So yeah, that's been, what, 5 months now? 5-ish months? Yeah. That's 5k.
Yeah, it has. And then the same thing over on the NA side. So yeah, there's been quite a lot of money going around. So, since we have a bit of time, let's speculate a bit. We have on one side the kind of not necessarily. I rather want to force you into calling a point score. Maybe on the one side we have the newly assembled TCG. This time even without Drase and with Red 11 in there. Red 11 not on a thief, but on a Sharper Warrior. And on the other side we have 55, who in some cases have been struggling lately.
Yeah, I mean...
To really get the top spot, I mean. They've still been around the top, but I don't know, when was the last time that they actually picked up a win?
Ooh, I'd have to go onto the ESL site to check, actually. Maybe that's what you could do.
I could actually do that. While you
came second in the monthly.
Well, you maybe tell us your prediction for this matchup.
I tell you what adds to this is the variable which could really screw things up is the Hambo Warrior, actually. That's the one where that kind of makes me think, I don't know, because it might make it easier for 55 HP monks to actually rotate. They did play well in the last week or so as well, and they did win against TCG actually as well recently. So, I don't know. I think they've got a lot of potential to sustain their caps. I mean, even if they have just Zan and the Hambo Warrior, they're not losing out on a lot of support. Because one, he's not got a battle standard. 2, he's not supporting the team in any other way other than putting cleave on the point and stunning. And, you know, so there's that. And then you've got, you know, Carsaber can hold another point. So they can hold 2 caps quite well. Whereas if we go to the other side, then we've got Eternia who's sustained. We've got Rebecca, who's sustained as well as Texby. And then we've got 2 very supportive classes. So it kind of works in a similar way. But the Warrior on TCG is a lot more supportive, having that banner, of course, Condi removal and whatnot. So I don't know. It really depends on who's going to pick up those kills. And if Helseth and Karzes can work together with that, then great. Chosen Sin and EC have been doing quite well with their killing as well, to be fair. But I think we've just got a bit more damage between that kind of pairing. Because, you know, they haven't really gone for that vampirism rune. So as long as they can get their burst off first, those guys are going to be using their vampirism procs pretty quickly. They're going to be trying to get out of there fast, and I don't know if they're going to be able to come back from that, because then they haven't got the damage to match up. It just really depends what happens there, to be honest. I'm not... Are you asking me to say who wins?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I would have said 55 more if they had battle standard. If they had a Sharper Warrior.
And a Sharper.
Yeah.
You don't believe in the Hambo?
I believe in Rampage, though. I like Rampage, because I think stability is something which is very, very useful still. Especially for keeping the nodes, which is why the fights have moved off point a lot, because of the fact that there is no stability as well. So because you can easily be taken off point, so that's kind of part of the reason. It's not a big part of the reason.
TCG doesn't necessarily actually play the off point game that much.
Yeah, that's true.
They are a bit more point focused, and to be honest, the composition we see on the side of 55. To me, suggests that we might see kind of old school tactics coming out from them, as we've seen with the Bunker Guard and Clerics Elementalist combination. That we're just going to see a Hambo ELE pairing trying to hold out on 1 point while the rest of the team clears the rest of the map. The outnumbering by out-tanking on 1 point. Then moving along. Kind of, yeah, what they've been playing with the double cleric setup.
I do think... I don't know. I actually think it might be quite close in the end. I'm not sure if TCG can't handle the Hambo Warrior by the fact that he's got so much tankability. That's a new one. And, you know, those guys... Because, you know, Helsef can go up to a point and he can decap 1v1 quite easily normally with the greatsword and the combo that he normally picks out. He can actually do that. But he can't do it against the Hambo Warrior. So if he's going to be a point holder instead of Zan, if they switch up that, I don't think TCG will win. But if it's Zan holding the back point, he's still so good. I'm going to say 55 HP monks.
Okay.
But I'm not confidently.
I'm going to say TCG actually.
Yeah, I keep changing my mind as I'm looking at the builds. Just because Hambo Warrior is too strong. It's just so strong. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping it will be quite close.
It is, but whoever, I'm just going to put you with a 55 win now. We are going to see who is actually going to come out ahead with a very aggressive cross here from 55 in the early seconds of the game. Foreman immediately going to the midpoint and completely ignoring both outer points. No far push, no close defense. Johnson a bit trailing behind a bit, but now we see the engage, and that is, yeah, they're just rolling over it and now pushing over too far.
Yep. Every single time that they know that it's an actual cross towards their home node, they never go for it because they know they're not going to be able to pick it up so quick. So we're going to see early caps.
You also
already
have far aggression with that.
Yeah, I thought they kind of duped him there, didn't they? They were just like duped him into thinking that they were going to go too far, and then actually just ran completely back. The thing is, they haven't got Misha to, you know, with that portal, so there's actually going to be a completely different idea of how they've got to play now. So actually I'm still, again, I think I've been a bit wrong maybe with my prediction, but we'll have to wait and see. Still very early on in the game. TCG picking up their first 2 cap. We've seen mid decaps as well as also the Henge over here. Helsef having a couple of problems, but able to get out of that damage by hopping up to the top here. So at the moment 55 might be able to pick up this. Oh, there you go. Skull Kid is in Rampage actually at the moment, which has helped to solidify some cap points on the point node, and he's actually used that kickback as well on the Juggernaut ability. Unlucky to not get that full cap there, but he's going to be solo versus 2-3 members of TCG. See you ticking the map over there, as we see mine being decapped by EC as well.
Yeah. Up until now, they didn't really come out ahead that much out of this opener, and especially with the double kill now on the midpoint. He kind of rode over that. Also, close from 55, not looking too good. We had it down with Eternia, but the Battle Standard just completely took that one out of it. And now Zan is just kind of trying to keep it neutral for as long as possible. The one upside at the moment, at least, is they got the decap, but how long is he going to be able to hold that?
Not very long. He's already caught off point. He's just 1 tick left. He's so low, and Chosen Sin's going to have to come in here and do so much damage, and actually has to go back on point. We're going to see the 2-cat coming in favour of red team, and that's where you see the power and the strength of the battle standard, because they were probably quite even in that mid fight until that happened, and when they got the battle standard up, they definitely would have switched up that fight, and that's a really, really big thing. You know, nice dodge there from Carsave over on that Greatsword number 4 coming out from Helsef as well, just to note that. But that's the problem. They might need to try and team fight to a degree. They can't rotate as much, and that's something they're going to have to actually just get used to.
That is something they want to do here, apparently. It doesn't really... Normally, this very much looks like an orange logo situation, where you just want to push them into one node. But TCG being pressured back immediately. We had a good group up from 55. They are pushing them and taking the advantage on Texby with the focus damage while walking through the... And there comes out the Vampirism room while walking through the bottleneck, getting Texby down. No one's in the vicinity to get the rest. Red Levin going for it. No damage at the moment there, but the interrupt should be enough. And there we go. Texby taken out. Can they follow up on that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're going to be able to take the mid, but the thing is they've actually lost close. No one got over quickly enough to help Karseb out. Zan is there. I don't think it's going to be able to rest, though. And is anyone going to come back for this? And the advantage for TCG is the fact that Texby is actually going to respawn right now. And he can just go back to the close point. ECN's now left holding mid versus an Elementalist. Dagger as well. So he can stay on node for as long as you like. EC can probably hold it for a bit, but not too long. Now we've seen Skull Kid coming over towards the mine. He can bunker up the point while the off-point node fighting is starting to happen over here. Now Karzis has dropped and almost got res there, close. We're going to jump into the perspective of the warrior there. He's not got his battle standard up yet and also has a lot of his cooldowns not available. So he's going to be in a bit of trouble. And actually, I think we're seeing a bit of a comeback here from 55. And it's starting to work out this comp because it is significantly different. They haven't got... That Misha is so important to the way they play and the way they're so mobile and able to defend these nodes that it's a really big thing to like completely change so quickly.
This could be really good. Actually, I think a bit of an over-aggression by TCG. No, but they're leaving the back point a bit open. I would have thought that maybe they could follow up on the first kill of Karze by locking Helseth down, who was kind of in the middle of nowhere between Keep and the mine point, but now we have just two split up fights with TCG being able to put their full resources into these fights because we don't see any aggression towards Hench at the moment.
I think, and as well, this is the combination I was talking about before of Zan and Skull Kid. They can't go on the point, and any time that they need to go on the point to just hold the node, I mean, they've got so much cleave. Karzes really isn't going to be able to handle that, and it's a good thing he's got his Vampirism rune. Now Zan can actually follow him up with some nice damage. He's got some free vulnerability stacks as well, takes him out, and to be honest, I don't like that combination. TCG don't want to go up against that combination of players because, you know, it's a lot of cleave on the point. The warrior is very tanky. Sambo Warrior Soldier's amulet especially is just ridiculous to try and kill. If we remember, like, it's so tanky, and especially with Rampage as well, if he jumps into that, his HP goes through the roof. He's got stability, he can knock down, he can CC, he can do AoE CC. It's a nice combination, and I enjoy watching Rampage, if I'm honest. I like it, it's a fun ability. But maybe not as much as I like Battle Standard, to be fair, though.
Oh, Helseth just from his nice advantage point over on the rock there. Pulled down by Zan. Now Vampirism comes into play. Oh, that was up. He should have stayed down there in safety. He's up there. He might not be resable. No, he isn't. TXP already pulling out. We do see the decap coming out on the point, but Eternia is going to fall afterwards, most likely as well. Helseth down already. He just got cleaved out, and now maybe 55 needs to pay a bit more attention to mid. Karseb still holding out against two people, but he's low on cooldowns and almost about to drop. Drops on point, but I don't think the reinforcements are going to be fast enough to keep the cap safe.
Just, yeah, the cap's gone. Skulky can come in and get that. He's still in Rampage. He's got stability and he's still got it. He's got so much HP. He can just sit there and rest. Literally can stand there. And we should be able to get him up here and actually get on the point as well. We saw the stealth coming in as well. But yeah, unfortunately losing that point. But again, you know, keeping the member up in the fight is a lot more important. But as they've moved to mid, they've left mine They've left it kind of free with Zan just 1v2ing. EC's going to come in here and try and get some damage off, but now Zan getting knocked off so hard there by a combination of Helseth and Texby that, you know, I think they're kind of outnumbered here, but they're actually coming back and focusing that damage onto Karzes, who's used the Vampirism rune, of course, the proc from that, and he's again, a good escape, but I'm not sure if the damage is a good change up for that. I'm still not sure about that, but, you know, he's kind of saved him here, actually.
Yeah, it did, but I'm actually surprised to get out of there. A bit more focus on the cleave there could have actually been his end. At the moment, both points that are where we do see fights are actually neutral, and only 1 point ticking slowly, advancing the lead of TCG. And now we see that fight actually. Helseth now jumping. Oh, that could have been. He actually jumped up. So he could have got maybe a bit of falling damage there, going down, knockback. The cleave is coming out on the corpse, and no res is to be found there whatsoever. Eternia now maybe dropping for the second time here, getting him down, and now they again need to reinforce the midpoint. So as soon as they clear up one situation, they kind of need to salvage another. So always going into the fight at a disadvantage.
Yep, and also they're going to fully commit to mid, which means that Zan will be left holding the mine. They'll probably decap that again. they'll be in this situation where they've got one node. They've actually lost Carsave as well over here on the midpoint, not able to get that res. Skull Kid can come in and try and do some CC, while Chosen and himself then try and get the res, which is a nice res combination. Should be able to get him up here, actually. Skull Kid's kind of... Oh, no, waiting for that cooldown there, then using that. But he's actually going to die here unless he gets out of the node. So they've actually been left out here. They did go for a pushover on far. Did they get anything out of that?
Close.
On the close, sorry.
It's very close, and I just wanted to say, before I saw Issei moving over there, they need to get away from that mine point. That mine point has been nothing but trouble for them. Not really worth the payout they got out of points on that one. Because they are a bit slow on the kills and just can't sustain the team fight with respawning members of TCG coming in over and over and over again. They aren't quick enough on the kills to sustain that. So with the actual back point, with the actual home point in their possession, I think they can gain much more benefit from that 2-point strategy.
Yeah, I agree. They're picking up the henge now. It's not too bad. Skull Kid is out. That's a big man to be out of the fights. Texby is down there as well. We'll probably see the Chosen Sin is going for the decap over on the mine, which is free. The rest of the team needs to go to mid to try and maybe even that up, because we have seen Texby out as well. Lausanne is very low. They need to try and support him, which is what Carsave's doing from behind. Good job from him. Zan just jumps out of that healing there because there's so many people coming up. He might be able to get the decap here.
Oh.
If they can get decap mid, that's going to be really, really good, actually. Oh, so close. Shoutboy Warrior Rebecca does get into the node very quickly. They need to try and get this knockback on him as soon as possible. He has to go off node as well to follow him. Actually didn't have to go off node. Didn't notice if he just got knocked back by a Skull Kid there as well. So this is a good opportunity for 55 HP Monk to come back. And I think what you said, the switch up in the end, almost like a mini regroup situation, 55 HP Monks thinking about their positioning there. This is going to be a lot easier for them to sustain and to hold.
Yeah, and now we basically have a repeat of the situation we saw with the opener, only the roles are switched. We see 55 with a retreat from the far point going over to that midpoint and trying to win that fight, and actually are grouped up a lot better now. Brilliant reaction, probably spotted over on the beach. Texby crossing. Now we have Zan already there for the defense. Now they're picking up the mid fight, gonna lock Eternia down on the side. Good port up on the high ground of the keep. Eternia able to escape there. Rebecca still down, so one man down. They need to know, how did the decap happen over and close?
Texby must have got the knockback in the net. Must have been exactly the kind of combination. It's kind of surprising. Normally Zan would be blocking that as soon as pretty easily as well. And we had the nice combination. Kazis coming over as well to offer up some nice burst damage. And Zan's in a lot of trouble. They need to try and defend him using that block at the right time. But Helsif's seen that he's also low, and they get on him straight away. Now, no one from 55 HP Monks has gone for the decap over on the mine, and really this is probably going to be the end of it. If they pick up another kill, 55 HP Monks will find it very tough to come back, and that has happened over there with Chosen Sin. So this is the problem they're having in this game, and really, you know, I think I knew that this was going to happen in the first minute or so, that probably likely TCG would have picked up this win, because, you know, the banner is just so useful, and 55 HP Monks have got another thing. They've not got Misha, and I think that's... It's not the fact that Misha carries the team, but the problem is that Misha is a Mesmer using Portal, and that is the way that they support their team very quickly. That they can overcommit in different ways, they can +1 fights. They can do that because they can actually, you know, rotate back quite quickly, and you know, because that Portal is always available and they've got a plan. But in this case, they're trying to do it in a different way. They're trying to bunker up the points with one man, trying to hold there for so long, but it's not working at the moment, to be honest.
And 55 without that potential aggression, and then with the safety of the fallback portal available, they go back to kind of what 55 was a very long while ago, the 2-node defender. Not really with the aggression, not really going for picking up the kills off point, but just trying to get the 2 nodes and then afterwards stick with that. Let them come to us and we're just going to beat them straight up in a fight.
Yeah.
Didn't really work out that well, but I have to say I am looking forward to that to the next game, because I think the biggest reason we've seen such a big deficit now in terms of points was that 55 kind of got stuck in a situation that wasn't really working for them. the far point defense was just a bit too much for them to handle, and it took a bit too long for them to notice. Oh wait, maybe we should switch it up and go over to our own home node, so that we have the respawn advantage. On this map, not really that noticeable, the respawn advantage.
It might be a bit easier here though. Pardon me. It might be a bit easier here though, because you know they've got that straight run.
Yeah,
So
it's
it
a
might be
long
okay.
way to both points.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever node you go to.
we'll have to see how it goes. I think it'll be a little bit easier if they can hold these caps and support them. They're going to have to go, like you said, when they switched up their tactics to hold the close point in the mid, because they couldn't sustain. They could sustain mine to a degree by, you know, really, really tightly, but it meant that they could never get anything more.
Yeah.
You know, they could never get the mid, and they got it once. They did get the 2 cap once, and they started to come back, but they couldn't maintain it, which is the problem. And as soon as that happened, they started to lose bodies. Then they had to scramble and start to change their tactics up, like you said they should, and that's exactly when they did it as well. And then when they couldn't, you know, it was almost too late in the game as well. So I think there's a couple of different things happening. I think there's still a possibility that they can win this game. I still think Shoutbow Warrior with the banner is just too strong. But the Hambo Warrior worked well on different occasions, especially with the rezzing, with the rampage as well. When it actually almost ran out, sometimes he had to res because it was so long when he was in that rampage, and it was quite useful. He got the decap mid as well, and decap on mine a couple of times, so it was still very good. I don't know. What do you reckon? Who do you reckon's going to win that? Should we stop doing the predictions?
No, I'm gonna say 55 this time.
What?
Because it's the map to be. It's the map, to be honest, and maybe that they have learned a bit from the last game, not to get into the situation they were in, like the last game. So yeah, I could very well see 55 picking this up. They weren't looking too bad in the team fights, and as you said, it's kind of been a while since we actually seen the benefit from a Hambo in the rest situation. Starting to rest, seeing, oh no, the damage is a bit much. Well, I'm just gonna swing my hammer around a bit and then go for the rest again.
And he was doing a good job, actually. Yeah. He was being kind of chill with the cooldowns, like using them in the opportune moments when he really needed to, when he could sense that, you know, someone was either going down or they needed to go for the decap. He wasn't using Rampage just for fun. You know, I'm not saying that that's what people do, but they sometimes, actually, that's a lie, they do. I use it for fun. But there's, you know, he's using his abilities at the correct times and at very, very useful times. I just think that it's getting used to playing like when you're so reliant on the Mesmer as well for that mobility. That's just the way you play, and then you've got to switch it up. And I actually think that they dealt with it very well. They actually did. They didn't smash them. It wasn't like a big, massive margin at all. And there were problems. TCG died a lot.
Yeah, especially Kaze, quite a lot. I think.
Yeah, that's true.
The vampirism room saved him a couple of times, but yeah. So,
and
one thing, by the way, Galkit. So this mysterious warrior, suddenly being on the side of 55, doesn't. You have?
Yeah, I don't know where. I'm pretty sure.
Doesn't Misha's account name have something with skull in it?
I don't know.
Or Misha, for some reason, I'm having skull and Misha is in one box.
And he's got the.
I don't know why.
He does have, I believe, that is the armor that comes with a second account. It is. It could be a new account. You never know.
Could be Misha's second account.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, Guild Wars 2, 75% sale at the moment. Pick it up for under a tenner. Well done. Good link.
Wait, you get armor if you pick up a second account?
Because after launch and more recently, they included in the basic edition an armor set. and it's one of those sets like the Profane or the one that he's wearing, or the medium one, this very skull orientated one, and then the kind of Power Ranger looking one for the light armor, which is very interesting. So yeah, when I got a second account, I was like, what? I got 3 armor sets, sick! And it's just like this. I've got to put it on the chart, and it looks pretty cool. So I was quite kind of happy with that. But anyway, we're going to go into the second game of the Go4GW2 Cup between 55 HP Monks and also TCG on the red team, and it's going to take us through the splits.
Okay, I'm kind of confused. Chosen, maybe he's gonna. Are they actually gonna go for a 5-man push again? Are we gonna see a repeat of the last map? Everyone is moving to mid, and it looks like they will be sacrificing both outer points again. Now Helseth on the waterfall. We see TechSP picking up the quarry cap. He is able to join the mid fight, and they're quite quickly. Helseth a bit hesitant, and the mid engage is already happening.
Yeah, indeed. They actually used that Elixir tool belt skill from Celestial there, and just to stealth into the mid. They actually got that down quite early as well on the Chapeau Warrior. A really good pickup on the first engage from those guys. Chosen Sid, pardon me, is going to be okay here as he dips out the hill.
Look at Issa with the fiery greatsword immediately on the side point and trying to gain the advantage back, but it looks like Kaze and TechSP are fast enough. But now he pulled 2 people out of that mid fight, and that might turn the advantage really towards 55 again. Eternia in the down state is kind of showing, yep, that's the case, but still double out point cap happening. We see the portal vapor form safe there, Helseth with the res on Eternia, and now they're trying to go for the defense there.
That is a good rotation from Helseth to move back into mid. And look at the guys pushing from Quarry. That is really good from TCG, to be fair.
And no cap yet.
They can just give up the waterfall, to be honest. I mean, but they can sustain it as well. But they need to make sure they don't lose 2 kills. There we go. We did see the Juggernaut here as well over on the waterfall node. Now they're in a 3v2 situation, but EC is down over towards the mid, and they're going to probably lose that cap and get the free cap unless they start moving. This is the problem. 55 HP Monks need to start moving out a lot quicker than they are, and Carsabe's down as well. So even if they do get waterfall, now they have to really be careful. Carsabe's going to have to go out at that point. He's going to use that. Did he die and use Vapor Form? No, sorry. He's gone for Mist Form as well on this map. Normally he goes for
fire. He did in last game as well.
Yeah, normally on the first map he does, but most of the time I thought he changed it up on the second map. But okay, no worries. So they defended quite well there. They lost 1 apiece. Helseth's going to go for the cheeky decap again over on the waterfall. That's going to happen because he's got this defense.
And
Kazes, yeah. Oh, this is still. There's still this problem, 55, of rotating between the 2 nodes. They're having a bit of an issue about this as well at the moment. I'm not sure they're too solid on this. Not able to sustain the 2 caps at all.
No, they are actually really ahead in the team fights.
Yeah.
But having big... It just feels like 55 is trying just to... Guys, let us just get some order in here. Let us set up our 2 points and then we go from there. And TCG, no, throwing a wrench into it every single time, not letting them get to that point. And I think that's a really important part, because once 55 gets to that point on this map, to the solid 2 cap, going with the fights going the way they have been now, I don't think that TCG would actually stand too much of a chance there.
Yeah, I mean... Maybe, do you think it's something to do, maybe trying to split them up on the 3 nodes is a better idea, which is what Zan's kind of gone for now over on that other point? Do you think that's going to be more useful?
Really depends. I mean, potentially if they pick the good matchups, sure, why not? But it looks like 55 is really planning on going for these big team fights.
It's gotten better. They've started to do it now. I mean, over on the waterfall, that's quite big, but we had this 2 kind of skirmishes happening over on Quarry, which Zan moved out towards the mid for. And, you know, Rebecca's down there. It's not going to get back up. Helseth's going to actually go to mid. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest. I think he's just poking more than anything so that they don't push towards the quarry. But they need to get this kill over on Waterfall. Now, 55 HP Monks I've got +1 on the map at the moment. So surprising that they're not +1ing this fight over here on the Waterfall to get it over and done with fairly quickly. Casters is over here as well. And Chosen Sin's doing a good job of trying to take him out. Can't remember what the proc is on Casters, if that cooldown has run out. Probably has by now. So it should be okay.
Oh. Interesting. I just wanted to mention that maybe 55 a bit over eager on the defense on mid because they were in a situation just a couple of seconds ago that they did gain control of both points, kind of, but then Hellstuff with a portal threw a wrench into it. But now with the decap on far, that is actually a pretty good move because they do have the sustain in their team that they can try and gain the advantage with just 1 point.
Exactly. I mean, actually just might be a good option. You know, they've got 3 guys who can hold a point for a while. You've got Hambo Warrior, he's very tanky, he can knock people off node, he can get decap, Zan can sustain a point very well, even versus 2 people to a degree for a certain amount of time, and I think that's just going to be the best option. If they had a Mesmer instead of DPS Guardian, I think it would work even better, just because they could be more mobile, but you know, it's still it's actually working really well. Rebecca's under a lot of pressure over here. Zan and also Skull Kid. I think this combination is what they need to be using a lot, and it's worked out so well. I can't believe they've actually been able to take him down that low versus the Elementalist and the Shoutbow Warrior. That's a really good job from those guys, to be honest.
Yeah, but in the meantime, they lost midpoint, only had Issei guarding that one.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? But now Carses is coming over towards the Quarry as well. We've actually seen Vengeance coming out from the Red Team Warrior. So let's jump into his perspective, see how long he's got on that Vengeance. He's got 3, 2, 1. He's going to be dead and out of that. And then they should be able to pick up the Quarry now. I think Skull Kid should stay on the Quarry. I think Skull Kid should stay on the Quarry rather than Zan.
Just stay there. Yeah, maybe. Well...
Just because of the mobility.
To be honest, in mobility maybe, but in a big team fight, it depends. If they want to go for the outer points now, then definitely. Then definitely. Yeah. But now we've seen a pretty good move from Hellstuff. He actually managed to, in the midst of 3 people from 55, pick out Chosen Sin just a couple of seconds ago. Now Issei is falling there in that scrimmage. The outer point strategy just feels a bit much for such an unmobile team.
Even the mid and Waterfall Cap seems like a bit of a struggle as well. Much. That's the problem. Then they're just not dealing with it at all. They can't move around the map efficiently enough at the moment. And coming from 55 HP monks being like kind of good, awesome at rotations, they're kind of being outplayed in that degree at the moment. And really TCG are playing to what 55 HP monks are kind of putting on the map, and they're just beating them at the game. They're winning the fights. Okay, they lost that fight over on Quarry, but then they can't sustain the second point. They cannot keep it.
I mean, you might think, well, come on, really just one Mesmer and his portal is gonna negate all the mobility from 55 that much? Well, it's not just the Mesmer, it's also the mobility you normally have of a Shoutbow Warrior.
Exactly. There's a lot missing. A lot missing. Well, it feels like there's a lot missing. It's just different kind of style of play. And the actual push that they made over towards Quarry to defend that was very successful. They got a kill out of it.
I want to see a big mid-fight now, and somebody really needs to keep an eye on Quarry.
It's just going to take a long time to take it, though. That's the problem. I mean, we're at 300
but now
points
there's still time.
Yeah, I guess, but the thing is, by the point in time that fight's over, they're probably going to at least hit 380. They're on 154. They need to get close to 350 to push the Lord. Still, TCG has more damage, so they can go for an anti-Lord push, and they'll probably get it a ton quicker.
We already see the preparation.
Yeah.
Rebecca Rock going for the left gate there. The waterfall adjacent gate of the Blue Lord, so they are preparing. As soon as they're gonna hit 350, they will have the ability, especially with Hellstuff there, portal, and then maybe also a Moa on the Lord. That's gonna be interesting. Oh, they're on it already, and they're going through the second gate. Nonetheless, we see Rebecca Rock already going. Eternia needing to be picked up again. And now, to be honest, this is a Lord Rush that 55 can react to pretty easily.
Yes. They can actually sustain that, and they can actually sustain that quite well. They need to keep someone on the map, in my opinion, which is what they've done to keep the point contested, but also even thinking about going to get a decap. If I was EC...
They already stopped. It's only really Red 11 going for the Lord.
Okay, yeah, Hellstuff's come back. Then maybe that's a little bit of a dupe up there. Unfortunately, EC's died over on the mid, so 55 will lose that cap as well. EC just doing the knockback. And 55 have fully committed over towards defending this Lord. They're going to get the kill on Rebecca. but the rest of the map is in trouble. No one's thought about the fact that these guys have retreated and going over to Quarry, so they'll lose that node. They might lose mid as well. Eternia is holding that solo now.
And I think Texby, Rebecca Rock is now going to vengeance and is going to help Texby get back up. I think he could have gone back up normally himself. That is actually a very weird situation now, but yeah, with the Lord Rush, now they're kind of screwing around. They have it pretty much in their pocket anyways. But yeah, with the Lord Rush going that badly, that was actually a pretty good and quick reaction from TCG. I don't think it was a juke from the get-go. I think they wanted to commit to the Lord, saw, nope, the reaction from 55 is very, very quick. We need to get out of there. And then just the turn back and gain control of the map very, very quickly.
I was going to say, yeah, a 4-man fake Lord Rush. Is that really a good thing to go for? I don't think so. I think you're right. I think they were going to go for that.
They just played it well.
I think they played. Yeah, they did. They played it better than 55 did. They didn't retreat out. But the thing is, 55 have picked up 2 nodes. If they can get the decap on Quarry and keep the map, which is what Skullkid's just done. Oh, unlucky. He really was very close to picking that up there. Good job from Eternia to get back onto the point. Oh, not Eternia, sorry. Yeah, it is Eternia. My bad. I keep forgetting he switches back from human or whatever that is to an Asura. It's random. Might be getting off. He's so close to the decap. He just needs one knockback and he can actually bring the team back into this. But we've seen the decap over on the mid from Karzez. We're actually seeing the Lord Rush again from TCG.
Not the Lord Rush. That's just... It's scrimmage. It's scrimmage on the spawn.
This is so messy at the moment.
This is really messy now. And Levin just... Rebecca Rock just wants the Lord. He's just having fun now. He's jumping around, pulling a couple of creeps. Yeah, we had actually a situation where Hellstuff was down on the map and one person was still screwing around in the Lord room. So they basically had a 4v3 on the map, which should, if they would have been able to get the Quarry decap, that would have put them into a brilliant situation.
They're trying to go for it now, and 55 can sustain over on mid easily, and they definitely can get the decap here with this kind of combination. But Skullkid is actually very low on HP himself and needs to be very, very careful. And if he's in that position where Texby can come in from behind, he can probably drop him as well, and needs to be careful. He was safe there, actually. Oh no, just went down there on the side. As you see Lord Hellstuff coming in as well as Karzez, and they need to really not lose anyone. This is the last chance they've got to come back into the game, but still it feels quite a lot. It's really too late, to be fair. Although we're going to see Chosen Sin coming in for the res on the side with a Shadow Refuge possibility, but he's going to be knocked out of that, and I don't think this is going to go anywhere.
TCG is going for 5-man death. They don't need to do anything else. They are fine with the Quarry. They can stick with that, and they would have gone for the 5-man death if Rebecca wasn't still in the Lord room.
Are they just having a duel? I think that's pretty much what they've
I think so.
Resigned to. The 1v1 ESL Go4GW2 Cup for semi-final between Rebecca and Izzy. Very low HP. Rebecca tries to withdraw there with the sword number 2. Izzy gets a little bit of support behind one of the NPCs with that PvE sports. But unfortunately, in the end, the draw comes to a final as TCG take the game, and we remember this is actually a 5v5.
Yes, another 1v1 assisted by, 2v1. We have the creep in there. He wanted to help out. He's on the side of 55. Support for those guys, sadly, didn't quite bring them the victory. The support of the NPCs on their side. Yeah, indeed.
They just couldn't sustain. They couldn't sustain the 2 caps at all, I don't think. The only reason they got those 2 caps towards the end was really because TCG was kind of having a bit of fluff around over on the Lord. And in the end, they could just overcommit to 1 point, get the kills, which is what they did with Skullkid and then also Chosen Sin. And they had some real problems, and I think it had a lot to do with the fact I don't blame the Hambo Warrior, because the play was good and the way they used him was quite good. But I just think against a team where they have a Shoutbow Warrior which has a res ability, they actually took him out in the very, very early on in the game in Fofire, which was good. That's what they needed to do. but they just couldn't bounce off that well enough. It's almost as if, you know, they didn't move quick enough, like they were being ready to, like they were waiting, you know, for that portal. So we don't have to move out so quickly from a fight when we're +1, because, oh, where's Misha with the portal? Oh, crap, Misha's not there. We can't just hang around. Well, so we have to move a lot quicker, and we actually have to be a lot more proactive on our movement because we haven't got that mobility. Okay, portal has a long cooldown, but you know, different things have to change. I think Skull Kid maybe should have been on solo caps alone for a lot longer, maybe in the first game as well. Zan has the speedy kits where he can be a lot more mobile with that swiftness. Different things here and there, but also I think TCG played well. You know, they did play a good game. They played good game and played well in both games. I think they died a lot.
Yeah, this time around, last time we had brilliant small scrimmages from them, like individual 1v1, 2v2, always going their way. But in the big team fights, it still seems a bit messy. Even with the swap without Rosé and Red 11, kind of the same story in there. But rotation-wise, that was really a lot better than in the monthly.
Okay, well, we're going to keep that short and sweet. I think it was better actually today as well. Tonight it's bright and sunny outside. We're in London. What the hell's going on? Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us for the ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 24. We just saw TCG defeat 55 HP Monks in the semi-final. We're going to go over to the next semi-final very shortly, which is going to be between Your Goose is Cooked and Orange Logo. We saw Anime Beauty Crew going out, and actually they got to the final of the ESL Weekly Cup this previous Thursday. So we're going to have to see how well that game goes. But we are going to actually go over the Orange Logo game, aren't we? Because we haven't actually gone with the quarterfinal. So we'll be back very soon with that second semi-final. Do not go anywhere. Just grab a coffee, Coke. Tell your friends as well.
Or any other kind of cola.
Or any kind of cola. Not Asda Coke, that's horrible. Anyway, see you soon, guys. Take it easy.